What's going on, team? Coach here with another video, and in today's video I do an interview with a former music supervisor who is now on the music sync licensing side of things. That's right, he's actually producing music the same way you and I do. So many golden nuggets. He goes by the name of Excalibur Zero. I cannot stress enough how much sauce and how much information he shares with us here. So I've broken it up into 3 parts. This is just going to be part 1. Hope you enjoy the video. And right before we get into the video, thank you so much. We've just reached 1,000 subscribers on this channel. I hope to keep on bringing you guys valuable information, and I hope you guys keep on enjoying it. So we'll jump right in. Here we go. For those of you guys that are joining, my name is Coach. You guys know me because this is my channel. However, we now have with us today the wonderful, awesome dude, Excalibur Zero. Excalibur, if there's applause, I'm going to put the applause sound effect right now. There's going to be a crowd cheering for us. But Excalibur Zero is a former music supervisor. Did I get that right?
Right.
And now like the rest of us, producer, music licenser. And he's actually at kind of the forefront of what's going on. And he has this awesome community that he's built. So I guess one of the first questions is I want to introduce you to my audience. Why don't you give a little bit background about yourself?
For sure. So I basically I went to school for music at Full Sail University. I got my recording arts bachelor's degree. And from there, I was able to land an internship with a music licensing company. It's a music library that makes music for TV shows, and they supply a large catalog for different production companies and networks. So I started off interning for them through Full Sail for about 7 months unpaid. And then eventually that led me to being able to be on full time with them as well as compose for them. And from there, I worked for them for about 6 to 7 years. And then I was composing and doing like a lot of back end work. So I worked my way up. I was basically doing a lot of like cue sheets, working on like the different composer information that's on each episode of TV, and who everybody who's licensing music. I pretty much put the percentages of who created what and stuff like that in our internal library. I worked as keywording, like doing metadata and stuff like that. So that really helps with editors and music supervisors and just different team members of a production company find music in a certain catalog. And eventually worked in editing base. So I sat with actual the editors of a TV show, the people who were actually editing the TV show, and helped them pick out different musics and telling them why or why not each track would work for a certain scene. If they are looking for something specific, we would point them in the right direction within our library. And worked with a lot of music supervisors, created like playlists for them. So basically, like if you think about BeatStars, how they have curated playlists for artists, let's say Kevin Gates type beat or Drake type beat, I would do that kind of the same thing, but for music supervisors and different production companies who are making the actual TV shows and kind of cater the music to their sound. And I also did a lot of like approving and denying submissions in the library that I did work on. So if a new composer, a new producer, a new artist wanted to submit to the library, I would listen to it, kind of gatekeep and let them know why not their music would fit for our library if we were looking at the time. So yeah, that's kind of where my background comes from.
Dope. So that's a lot of knowledge. That's a lot of information. So definitely, I know this is gonna go well here.
Right.
Not to mention, this is my first interview, so if I fumble it up, it's gonna be awesome. We're gonna make sure we edit a lot of GIFs in here.
Hey.
So you mentioned what the role of this music supervisor does, but you also, now you're on the flip side. Now you actually produce for these companies, right? What is your weapon of choice? What's the DAW you work in?
Okay, so I use FL Studio. I started off with FL Studio and I still use it. I've used different DAWs. I've used like Logic and Reason and Pro Tools and stuff, but FL Studio is my home. So FL Gain all day. And then the other part of your question kind of cut off. So what was the other part?
When did you get started in music production?
When I was about 15, I started getting into music production. I was playing a game called Diablo 2. And I met a friend on there, and he actually told me about music producing, and he sent it to me on AOL Instant Messenger. It took like all night to download, and I downloaded it, and I have not stopped since.
That's what's up. Do you remember what he sent you? Like what DAW he sent you?
Yeah, it was FL Studio 5 at the time.
Okay.
Yeah.
So they come a long way. I think they just dropped like 20 recently, right?
Yeah, they're about to be on 21, I think. Yeah.
The DAW Wars. I'm
So,
a Ableton user myself,
okay. So you're
but
the competitor.
I've started collabing with a bunch of producers, and the group uses Logic. So I've been having to teach myself
Mm,
Logic while producing. And boy, that's never fun. You just get pissed at the DAW,
yeah,
like, where's the
for sure.
play button, So
Right. 100%.
so that's what's up. That's what's up. So 15, that's some time there. And by the way, I know that you just got married. You just went on your honeymoon. So congratulations to that.
I appreciate that. Thank you very much. I appreciate that.
Are you wearing your own merch right now?
Yeah, man. I had to.
Oh, that's what's
Oh.
up.
Had to represent.
Okay, so this is a question that when I'm speaking to people, I get asked pretty often. And it's, do you need to know music theory to be in sync licensing or to even be a music producer? What are your thoughts?
No, not at all. A lot of producers that I know are self-taught. And some producers are even, the click, like a click producer where they, enter everything in with the mouse. But no, you don't really need to know music theory as long as you have a good feel for it. I think music is more of a feeling. So as long as you have a good feel for it and you're confident with your sound and you're not a beginner, I feel like people who are beginners and still kind of learning the ropes around, just proper song arrangement or, making sure your 808s are in key and stuff like that. Those are the type of producers that I don't think sync licensing is best for yet. I think once you're a little bit more developed and seasoned, and I'm not talking about like, you need to be 15 years in the game, just, confident with your sound. And that, the 808s in your matching key and stuff like that, that's the best bet for you.
So let's talk about genres. I get asked often, like, I produce trap, I produce only this, that. Is there one genre that gets placed more than the other? Is there room for my music if I'm a music producer?
Man, there is room for all types of music. It is not biased to any specific group. Some shine more than others because, some get placed more than others depending on the type of show. But if you're a trap producer, you fit really well in reality TV, you fit well in like sports and different types of media like that. I think that if you have, or if you're a guitarist and you make a lot of rock or anything like that, there's a home for a lot of different styles of producers. And I think that anybody who's out there who's making music can really find a home for themselves. And I definitely recommend doing sync licensing, especially if you're in the COVID phase when you got hit with, not being able to go live and stuff like that. Like any of those type of, if you have a band or anything like that, make sure you try to get some of your music into a library or something and, just make an album for them and start collecting that back end because it's really going to pay off. So it's not biased to any type of producer.
Yeah, absolutely. And this just reminded me that Excalibur Zero has a course where he specifically teaches about sync licensing. I'll make sure I put the link down below because I've caught pieces of what you do. And for my audience, I'm part of his community, and it's just a really, really open and very sharing community. Like, it's really dope. I'm part of a bunch of communities on Discord, and definitely that community is one of my favorite just because of the amount of sharing and knowledge that goes on.
It's awesome,
So,
man. Yeah, I appreciate that. It's
way
crazy
to
to see.
present that experience for everyone.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it. It's crazy to see how everybody came together and it's just like sharing different, even today, it was just crazy seeing that person just share that list. I was like surprised just to see so many people and so many different pieces working together to have a common goal.
Let's talk about music libraries versus music supervisors. Is there a preference? For those of you that don't know, I believe that there's two different types, and you can probably speak on this better than I can, but you want to affiliate yourself with either a library that does the majority of the work, or affiliate yourself and build the relationship with the supervisors. What are your thoughts on those two?
I think that I want to break down what a music supervisor is. A music supervisor is like a project lead over a TV show. So they're the person that's scoping out all the different types of music that should be fitting into the show. They're developing the different types of music for that character. So they have a very important role as far as the development of the sound for a TV show. They're out there looking for, they'll look on Spotify, they'll look on SoundCloud. They're getting different references. They're getting different types of inspiration as far as what they need for that show. And then a music library is basically just like the beat stars, right? So they're the full catalog of tons of different music. They have a lot of different composers involved, and they're supplying that production company, the people who are making the TV show, with the music. And it's going to be two different types of deals if you do that. So the music supervisor role, I would say, is the best bet. It's a lot harder to get into. You need to develop a relationship. They're very picky because a lot of the times they're working with people that they want to make sure the music is clear. There's no samples. There's no loops involved. They want to make sure that they're creating that relationship where they can have somebody that they're relying on that gives them a fast turnaround time for music and is not getting them into any copyright trouble or having trouble reaching them. So it's a little bit harder to get into that route, but you're getting paid more because you're owning all of your music. You have a higher percentage that you're owning overall with your music. The music library choice is a good way to start off. I still do music library. I've dealt with music supervisors, but I also still believe in music libraries because you're creating the opportunity where you can just submit and not have to worry about all that extra stuff. Like, you got to learn, worry about the legality and all that other stuff. But when you work with a music library, you're submitting your music directly to them. They're taking care of all the work. They're finding the TV shows for you. They have those connections with the music supervisors already, which most of the time music supervisors want to work with music libraries because they know it's already cleared. And they already have the connections with these different shows and stuff like that. So it's going to be a lot easier when you take that route, but they are taking a percentage of your track overall. So it really depends on how developed you are and how long you've been in the game and how many relationships you can really build. As long as you're trustworthy, you're easy to work with, and you have your music cleared, and you take care of the legality side of everything. Music supervisor, like the music supervision part, is definitely a great route to go. But there's nothing wrong with the music library, and I still do that to this day.
That's what's up. That's what's up. It's good to know that you're not someone who's just preaching it, but you're actually going through it. And for my audience, they probably know, like, I just got in with a library. I believe I told you when it happened, just like 2-3 weeks ago or something like that.
Congrats.
And thank you. I appreciate that. And man, I mean, I'm already bringing in funds, so we'll see. I'm looking forward to making that first check and building it from there. So that's kind of cool, especially now during COVID. It really makes you evaluate, like, one, do I like my job?
Right.
Two, do you really have what it takes? And you assess yourself and your skill level. But also three, it's an asset, and it's what's called passive income, right? You work hard once and it continues to generate money for you over time, which is something that I'm definitely promote.
Well said. That's
Points.
beautifully put.
All right, I hope you enjoyed this video. Get ready for part 2. It's right here, right there. Click it. Click it now. Now. Click, 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 click.